Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers insider slams Jets for ridiculous $40 million Justin Fields deal. The New York Jets signed Justin Fields to a 2-year deal for $40 million. That raised a lot of eyebrows, but none more so than of Jerry Dulac, who covers the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Post-Gazette. Aaron Rodgers, going to the New York Giants makes zero amount of sense unless their offer is ridiculous. Which New York teams tend to do, which is what we saw with Justin Fields, Dulac said on The Rich Eisen Show. Justin Fields wanted to test the free agent market. I'm sure they, Pittsburgh, didn't expect him, Fields, to get that kind of offer. Rich Eisen, the guy won 10 games in 3 years in Chicago and played 6 games last year. That is not a quality body of work to get a $40 million 2-year deal, but that is what we see in free agency. That is what we see from teams like the Jets and the Cleveland Browns who make decisions like that, Dulac explained to Eisen. The Jets' insult doesn't hit home, feels like sour grapes. Pittsburgh team president Art Rooney too said in late January that his preference would be to bring back one of their quarterbacks from the 2024 season. Before free agency, ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler reported that the Steelers preferred to bring back Fields over Russell Wilson. The feeling wasn't mutual. After Fields led the Steelers to a 4-2 start, they decided to yank the starting job away from him and give it to Wilson last season. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport revealed after the season that the Steelers' decision to bench Fields in the middle of the year weighed on him during his free agent decision. Dulac later admitted that the Steelers' best plan of attack at the quarterback position would have been re-signing Fields this offseason. If it came down to Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I think Arthur Smith and a few other offensive coaches would have preferred Fields for a number of reasons. He's only 26. We know Rodgers is going to be 42, his mobility, his speed, they saw that he did win 4 of those 6 starts to begin the season, Dulac said. Fields' contract is the opposite of ridiculous. The new 2-year $40 million contract that Fields signed is super reasonable, not ridiculous. Fields' $20 million annual salary places him number 16 among the highest-paid quarterbacks in the NFL, per over the cap. Fields was widely considered the second-best quarterback that was available in free agency, only behind Sam Darnold. Did Fields get more money than what was expected? Yes. The projections by Pro Football Focus predicted that Fields would sign a 1-year deal for $11 million. Instead, he got a multi-year deal for double the money. In free agency, every player gets more money, especially quarterbacks. Despite that headline, Fields is firmly planted in the middle of the league in quarterback salary. Nothing cost prohibitive in any way. The Steelers wanted Fields, but he didn't want them after being benched last year. Now he leaves to a new destination, and the critics from the Steelers poke fun at his contract and body of work. Yet in the same conversation, Dulac hyped his youthfulness, upside, and what he could have looked like in a Steelers uniform in 2025. Sounds like sour grapes. NFL insider Albert Breer revealed that the Steelers are all in on Rodgers, but the problem is he isn't all in on them. Rodgers' preferred destination is the Minnesota Vikings. If the Vikings don't want him, NFL insider Mike Silver said it's possible that Rodgers rejects the offers from the Giants and the Steelers, instead opting for retirement. Madden Monday, when it comes to Steelers QB quandary, blowing it with Kenny Pickett set them back 4 to 5 years. Debate continues to swirl regarding what the Pittsburgh Steelers will do for a starting quarterback in 2025. However, in this week's Madden Monday podcast, Mark Madden of 105.9 The X and TribLive believes the franchise should have one singular agenda. The only decision the Steelers need to make correctly in the near future is who they pick to be their long-term quarterback, Madden said. Presumably in the 2026 draft. That decision is now heightened based on how the Steelers handled their last attempt at a first-round quarterback selection in 2022 when they drafted Pitt's Kenny Pickett. Blowing it with Pickett set them back 4 to 5 years, Madden continued. That can't happen again. having blown it with Pickett is why they're in the position they're in. As of the time of this post, the Steelers have Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson as the only quarterbacks on their roster. They also aren't drafting until the 21st pick in the first round, so there won't be a first-round-worthy QB left by that point. As a result, Madden thinks that writing it out in 2025 with Rudolph may be a better option than trying to be just a game or two better with aging veteran free agents like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's okay, Madden said. I've got no problem with Rudolph coming back. I'd have no problem with starting him. I think if you sign Rodgers, there's going to be a massive amount of headaches. Madden said going with Rudolph could be more expeditious than Rodgers, not to mention more prudent financially. I'd rather have Mason Rudolph at $4 million per season than Aaron Rodgers at $33 million per season, which is what he's rumored to be asking, Madden added. You start Mason for a year, maybe you go 5 to 12, which they desperately needed to do for quite some time. Maybe he surprises you. I actually think they probably would win close to 8 or 9 games with Rudolph at quarterback. I think the 4 games he started at the end of the 2023 season provided better quarterbacking than either Wilson or Fields did all of last year. Also in the podcast, Madden and I discuss the logic behind acquiring DK Metcalf, the theory of extending TJ Watt's contract, George Pickens' future and the Penguins' recent 4-game win streak. Steelers could sign longtime rival QB if Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson fall through. Quarterback Joe Flaco has been a Pittsburgh Steelers nemesis throughout his career, serving as the starter for the rival Baltimore Ravens from 2008 to 2018, when he was eventually supplanted by Lamar Jackson. While he hasn't started more than 8 games in a year since leaving Baltimore, Flaco's not ready to hang up his cleats just yet, and according to Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, he could be in play for the QB job in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have primarily been attached to 2 other veterans, Aaron Rodgers and last year's Pittsburgh starter, Russell Wilson. However, there's no guarantee that they come away with either player. Rodgers could sign with the Minnesota Vikings or stay in the New York metropolitan area and play for the Giants, while Wilson is in the mix for the Giants and Cleveland Browns. If they strike out, Flaco could provide a more affordable and very familiar option, Florio reports. He is also in the mix for roles with the Browns and Vikings. The former Super Bowl MVP has had a very interesting post-Ravens career, starting 28 total games across brief stints with the Denver Broncos, New York Jets, Philadelphia Eagles, Cleveland Browns and Indianapolis Colts. His tenure with the Browns, another AFC North team, was particularly notable as he went 4-1 stepping in for Deshaun Watson as starter, leading Cleveland to the playoffs and winning the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. His 24 stint with the Colts was less successful. Flaco went 2-4 splitting time with Anthony Richardson, with 1,761 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He did throw for 2 touchdowns in a 27-24 win over the Steelers in September, so Mike Tomlin and company are still very aware of what Flaco, who turned 40 last month, can still bring to a team. Are you a fan? What do you think about Joe Flaco's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.